Welcome back to Ace Prosecutor Zero. Gotta find out what the favor is that the victim asked of the witness. And my thought is, gun. I'm sorry, Mr. Roger, but I have to ask this question. Did Mr. Staunton specifically ask for your pistol? The murder weapon, so it belongs to Mr. Roger. It's the only option. Mr. Roger said the victim recognized him as a ranger from the jacket. So he must have asked for an important favor like this. Isn't it true, Mr. Roger? No. What? I told you. He asked me something simple and harmless. Do you think I'd give my weapon to a perfect stranger? It's a serious crime. In circumstances like these, I'd lose my job. I could even be a policeman, and that's ironically the last straw. The last straw is making jokes about law enforcement as a member of law enforcement. I see, that it's not a problem to present your weapon in court right now, right? My weapon? I don't have it here. I'm really, really sorry. You don't have it. Something or someone prevents you from taking your pistol here? Yeah, something like that. This pistol should belong to him. If he did give it to the victim, then he committed a serious crime. Mr. Rogers seems to take his job seriously. So for what reason would Mr. Roger have given his gun to the victim? This is interesting. Why not? No motive at all. He doesn't care. I suppose no motive. No motive? I don't see any reason. The victim was a medic. He can't wield such a weapon. We found it on the crime scene. So how? How did he... A mistake? Did you say something, prosecutor? Wait a second. Maybe more. It's time for me to say something now and explain a couple of things. I never said that weapon isn't mine. What? Why that face? I never said it was.
Objection!
I've got a good memory, and I know for sure you said the weapon wasn't yours. Mr. Roger, is this pistol yours? If you're asking me... No, I didn't use it against the victim. Specifically specific. I believe in you. Can you prove it to the court? Ah. How can you prove this weapon is mine instead? Do you suspect your witness? Not a smart move. Ah yes, that was back before we woke up. Are you sure your memory is good? Bet it's bad like rotting cheese. Did I guess it right? Stop with these stupid jokes and stop confusing us. To be honest, you're confusing me. I never said the weapon isn't mine, but I asked if you could prove it. It's a different answer, you know. You basically avoided my question with a subtle affirmation. But I didn't lie, and that's what counts in court.
Objection!
Don't make me laugh. You've been lying since you got here. I see what you lawyers do. You think I committed perjury. No, my dear. I committed nothing at all. Like, remember when you asked me what I was doing near the crime scene? I said I was scouring the area, right? Well, I wasn't lying. I had a walk, yes. Like a true ranger. What? You saying you walked all that area as a hobby? But why? Why not? Go to the crime scene and you'll find 6 signs. What? 6 signs of driving ban? I didn't invent them. I found them during my walk. What? Then you went back on your word, saying you had an appointment with the victim. Ah, yeah, right, that thing. Yeah, I lied in that case. It's not my fault. It's your fault. Eh? Ah, I told you memory is bad. Can't remember? No problem, I'm on it. Imagine you understand the direction this trial is taking, right? Yes, Mr. Judge. It's true. I was in the city, and usually a ranger doesn't work in the city. Because that night I wasn't working. So what were you doing? A walk? Because I wouldn't believe you. Why? Couldn't it be? Given your position, lying is the least convenient thing. Halt. Halt! So you see it now? I was actually taking a walk. But the defense thought I was lying. So I tried to ask them for help from the prosecution. Mr. Prosecutor, can you help me? See? He didn't even look at me. I wouldn't have lied if it was for these things. In short, it's all your fault if I lied. In a sense, you're some kinda... culprit. What? Ah! Mr. Roger is right. How dare you manipulate the witness? What? Well, hey, hold on. What the fuck's going on here? Your Honor, it's not what you think. You know witnesses tend to lie. I thought he was keeping a secret from us. Objection! And he's clearly has been keeping secrets from us. Mr. Roger, you're talking too much. Are you trying to cover from something? Cover something? Maybe ruin the trial? Me? Ruining? That's some talk. You still don't get it. My objective was to deliver the information at the right time. It's like when you present your evidence in court. You don't present all the pieces of evidence at once, do you? The same way I didn't show all my aces in the sleeve all at once. Don't forget I'm doing this for two reasons. For you. And for me, too. After all, this is how justice works. And I have to reestablish my name. What the fuck is even happening? Mr. Roger, are you done talking? Well, I still didn't say that. Mr. Roger, that wasn't an actual question, but a direct order from the law in question. Why don't you shut up and follow what I'm saying, which is more important? You're saying a bunch of nonsensical, roundabout bullshit. What kind of manners are these? You dare to subdue the judge? This is a serious crime. More importantly, Mr. Roger reached the peak of his attitude. Found his Achilles heel. Time to show his mistake. Where was I? Ah, yes. Now I'll tell you a secret. During my perfect performance as perfect witness, I replied to your questions in a specific form. Yep, that's right. Your questions aren't as perfect as my answers. For example, you asked me if the victim asked me for the gun. I replied with a short no. Or you asked me to present my gun, right? I told you I don't have it with me. What I said was the purest truth. So you see, the secret is to not give a full explanation. For example, are these questions directly asking me if the gun is mine? Well, no. Even if it could be implied. You see my point now, Mr. Prosecutor? And did you hear His Honor said to shut your mouth? What? Oh, come on, not you too. My testimony is very important for this trial, right? So... You say you are the perfect witness, yet you committed a serious crime without noticing it. Crime? Me? As if. I don't know what you're talking about. What crime do you mean, then? Perjury, contempt of court, or injury? You are in contempt of court, my friend. I'm talking about contempt of court. I find it amusing the fact that you don't know this crime. I expect way more from a ranger like you, Mr. Roger. What did you say? Oh, now that I think about it, you didn't commit a crime. You committed 2 crimes. Do you mean the murder weapon? By now we can all agree that this pistol belongs only to Mr. Roger, but you lent it to the victim anyway, and this means you committed a major crime. Again, do you think I'm stupid enough to give my weapon to any person? Mr. Roger, even if it was a mistake, a crime is a crime. And you know how it's going to end, am I right? Your speeches are over. I think I don't get what you mean. I don't get what you mean. How can I blame you? Losing your favorite job. Paying a hefty fine. Even going into prison. Who would really get what I'm saying? Not me. Mr. Roger, you've been reported for misconduct in court. You didn't pay respect to the lawyers, but above all to me. What? But wait, that's unfair. I helped you, right? You just sat on your high horse and bitched at all of us. I don't deserve such treatment. That's enough. Grown tired of you, Mr. Roger. Unfair? Are you kidding me? You think this is a game designed for your pleasure? Do you think we're here because we don't have anything to do? Well... Shut up! You're here because you're the only witness. This is your way of cooperation. That's the door. Go away. I don't want to see you again. Uh-oh. That's what he wanted. You still need me. Not quite. We have your testimony. You're useless now. No. You can't throw me away like that. Mr. Roger, I don't want to count up to 3 like with babies. I think you're done with me, but you still don't know what Mr. Stoneson asked me. I don't care knowing this from you. We're lawyers. We're mature enough to figure it out for ourselves. No, you can't do it. Only I know the answer. Enough, Roger. Your time in court is over, and even your job as a ranger. What? But I'm a good ranger. I think they'll change their mind when I'm going to pay a visit at the ranger department tomorrow. Your crime is intolerable and will not be forgiven. No, please, Mr. Prosecutor, being a ranger is everything for me. I don't care. You had time to think about it before. Now I'll count to 3. If you don't leave, you'll go to prison for a whole month. That seems excessive. Well, one. Are you serious? I never said a dirty word in my life. How can I have a misconduct? No, you need me. I brought you up to this point. You should thank me. 2. Miss Lawyer, please stop him. Oh, you. Right, Mr. Judge, you'll help me, right? I did nothing wrong. Why are you still angry? 2.5. 2.5? Please, I'm begging you, stop. You have to hear me. I don't want to lose my job. Then. No. I'm a good planner. I've planned everything, even this. You know what happened there. Plus. You know how the victim died. I'm a witness. I didn't make any mistakes. You, instead, you're nothing. You did nothing for the victim. I did. I pinned you so many times that I gave him my jacket, but you didn't stand by my rules. I can't understand how I feel. You did? Since fucking when? You help someone. A minute after you find them dead, my mission as Ranger failed. I ask you this question. Where's that so-called justice? Who'll avenge this innocent? You? Give me a break. You don't care about finding the true criminal. You have the name of the murderer under your eyes. And you want to blame me? Three. So the victim asked for his jacket. I reckon his gun was inside the jacket he handed out to the victim. I see his mistake. Smart move, Prosecutor. In the end, you got the answer we wanted. Roger, we gave you a taste of your own medicine. How are you feeling? Are you done trying to fuck around now? You fucked around and you found out. And by the way, thank you for your cooperation. Now we know what happened. It would have been perfect if you acted like a normal person. From the start. You fucking nitwit. Prosecutor, I'd like to thank you for defending my role as judge. What you did to the witness isn't exactly appropriate in court. It was necessary, Your Honor. His attitude was unsuitable. Even if he was a witness, someone had to discipline him. The witness isn't the ruler of the trial. Regarding the witness, how is he now? He's under control. The guards. He stopped talking, apparently. Which is understandable, since he may well lose his job. If only he acted appropriately. We've wasted so much time. I'm not a psychologist, but I think there's a reason behind the way he was behaved. I don't think he had bad intentions. It's more likely he doesn't trust people in general, including us. This would explain many things, like, for example, why he's a ranger. He keeps people under control in his own way. That's why he showed himself as presented himself as a know-it-all in court. This made me think that the defense's accusation was weak. Roger's an odd boy, but he didn't kill anyone. Your Honor, I have something to add. Given the recent situation with the witness, the defense decided that the accusation against Mr. Roger will not be rescinded. Interesting. What are your motives? There is new information, and I believe his testimony can be untrue. Given his behavior in the courtroom, it wouldn't exclude he committed something during the crime. Understand your position, Miss Cosmo. Mr. Roger isn't out of charges. Does the prosecution want to state something on the matter? Oh, the prosecution continues to consider Mr. Necken as guilty of the murder. Mr. Roger is a particular person, but he has less valid reasons to kill the victim. And in spite of his attitude in court, we've seen he has a high consideration of people and justice. I see. How do we want to proceed? The prosecution would like to sum up what we know so far. Prosecutor, you better not mess it up like with the opening statement. Due to the inconvenience of not being well prepared, I couldn't make a proper opening statement. But this is another story. No objections, Your Honor. Okay, Prosecutor Zero, give us a clear idea of the case. Thank you, Your Honor. Members of the court, we all know how the witness behaved during the trial. However, his testimony is valid, impossible to not consider. About 10 p.m., Mr. Roger started to take a walk in the city for about an hour. Around 11 p.m., he met the victim, Mr. Staunton, who asked for help. We don't know the reason, but according to what we know, he asked Mr. Roger for his jacket. I'm not referring to the black jacket the witness wore and is still wearing, but the white jacket the victim wore until his death. Mr. Roger was driven by his common sense and his job about helping other people. In giving the jacket, Mr. Roger forgot to take his gun, which is what he was trying to hide in trial. This caused a big issue for both the victim and the witness. Before Mr. Staunton could die, he met the defendant. The two ended up arguing and fighting each other. We still don't know why. During the fight, the pistol must have fallen on the ground from the victim's pocket. Mr. Necken noticed something fell, and noticed that it was a gun. That he used it to finish Mr. Staunton. Meantime, Mr. Roger heard a shot coming from nearby where he had left the victim. As he came back, he found the victim dead and the defendant standing, but not for long. Mr. Necken is physically weak, plus he was under the effect of morphine. I could imagine he spent all his energy during those moments, so he couldn't sneak away. This explains why he fell asleep at the crime scene. Mr. Roger then called the police, even if he did it just for his duty. Finally, music to my ears. I find interesting what you said about the physical condition of the defendant. It's a crucial detail for the trial, Your Honor. If you're finished, I resume from where he left off. After the witness's last statement, I think it's appropriate to analyze the victim's jacket. No objections. Detective Pascal, bring in the victim's jacket, thank you. Where is the detective? I already asked him to return to the department and bring it here. He should be back any minute. Why didn't he take all the evidence before? Yeah, why? What purpose would you look at the victim's jacket? I'll obviously show the defendant is the only one who could have committed the crime. With this piece of evidence, I'll validate Mr. Rogers' testimony. Here I am. I swear it, this is the last time. Zero, if you don't win this case, you'll pay for all the gas I spend. Good thing he's working for the law. Wonder how it would have ended otherwise. Well, I'd say to start, Your Honor. This evidence will give us what we need, then let's move on. Where's the victim's jacket, which belongs to Mr. Roger, actually? Do a full check of this evidence. Turn the jacket, I just have to press the icon in the top right. Hello. It seems to be a waterproof white jacket. It's rather clean, with no strange stickers. I doubt this jacket belongs to the Ranger Corps. I would have seen the logo. The hood of the jacket looks alright to me. Now that I see better, I noticed that the right side of the collar has some special kind of sign. The sign was caused... Mark was caused because of the strangulation. Why only on the right side? Pockets of the jacket. On the appearance, they seem to be empty. Better open them. Wait. Open them? Something isn't right. The pistol must have fallen from the pocket of the jacket. The zipper is closed. I don't get it. Why are they closed? Just to make sure, let's see what they have inside. Empty. They have nothing inside. And the obvious choice. Is the hole caused by the projectile? Interesting. The blood reached the shoulder. Perhaps he was killed while he was already on the ground. Have you finished washing the jacket? Yes, Your Honor. Being a full-fledged piece of evidence, I accept it to the court record. Seems you didn't succeed to confirm Mr. Rogers' testimony. You can see the pockets are closed. So how'd the gun fall? Be extracted from a closed pocket. It's a good question, honestly. Maybe the victim closed the pocket after the pistol fell. It's impossible considering the victim died shortly thereafter. Not to mention the victim didn't know about having a gun. So why would he close the pocket? A logical reasoning from the defense. What is your opinion, Mr. Cosmo? How do you think it went? If the pocket was closed by someone, then it must have been someone who knew of the gun. Someone like Mr. Roger. You can't confirm he did it? In reality, Mr. Rogers said that before calling the police, he checked the victim and the defendant. So he definitely could manipulate the crime scene in his to his advantage.
Objection!
Why did he bring the pistol with him? Murder weapon is the only object which is linked to the witness. There must be another explanation. Dr. Pascal, did this jacket have inside pockets by any chance? Didn't you look before? The jacket doesn't have inside pockets. Oh. Or someone closed the pockets, I don't know. This jacket should have confirmed Mr. Rogers' testimony. Does he have a reason to close them after the crime? Is it part of his plan again? There's something I've had in mind for a few minutes. Maybe it's strange, but if that's the case, could it be that these pockets aren't actually the clue we've been searching for? Prosecutor, still lost in thoughts? I'd like you to tell us what you're thinking. Your Honor. I think I understand why we've just found closed pockets. In fact, this jacket. So was he lying? Both pockets are empty. Signs of strangulation on the right side of the collar. Bullet hole with traces of blood. I don't think it belongs to Roger. It doesn't belong to Mr. Roger. But you said it was. Why the change? It's simple, Your Honor. We've said it a million times, but the pockets are closed. If the pistol hasn't fallen from this jacket, then it must have fallen from another jacket.
Objection!
What you're saying is absurd. The witness said he handed over his jacket to the victim. And you're saying that this isn't his. Exactly. Because this jacket belongs to the victim, not the witness.
Objection!
I repeat, Mr. Roger himself said he gave away this jacket to the victim. You're still suspecting him and you believe him?
Objection!
Correction, you never specified this is the jacket he gave away to the victim. But it's logical to think that it is. But he's not exactly logical. Can you prove otherwise? If this jacket doesn't belong to Mr. Roger, then this means only one thing. By all means, defense, I'll show you the white jacket. This white jacket doesn't belong to the witness. Show a profile? This profile.
Take that!
Nope. So what are your thoughts? Incorrect. Oh, Necken recognized him.
Take that!
In the jacket. Please, could you look at this profile? This is my client. Why are you showing me this? This isn't the witness's jacket. Where is his real jacket? The evidence would be the crime summary. The consensus we had earlier was that Necken recognized the victim in his white jacket. My theory is that Mr. Necken has it in this exact moment.
Objection!
What? What a weird reasoning. It can't be. More likely that the witness took it from the crime scene instead. Maybe, but we can't deny this possibility. That's why I want to analyze Mr. Necken's jacket right now.
Objection!
It'd be a waste of time. What difference does it make to check another jacket? Your Honor, do you want you want me to tell you what time it is? No thank you, you've reached the limit. I dare say this is the longest trial in a day I ever participated in. 5 minutes more or less won't make any difference. In for a penny, in for a pound, Prosecutor. I accept this request. Now analyze his jacket. This is the last resort. We're all tired of continuing this trial. Understandable. Thank you for your trust and patience. Hello. Well, did you follow the trial up until now? Yeah, I followed it. For too long. Mr. Necken, trust me. Only Mr. Roger could have killed him. I believe in your innocence. Bah, what's the difference? You'll make me guilty anyways, right?
Objection!
I don't think so. If you take off your jacket, I'll show them why you're innocent. Nah, you can't do anything. What? Honest. Thank you for your support, but this is the end. Are you confessing the crime? Well...
Objection!
Mr. Necken, you can't do this to me. Since I spent so much time and money to help you in this trial. True motives? Why didn't you donate your money to me instead? I bought a new jacket and a TV. I heard it's fashionable to get the beard. Gel the beard. Want to gel it like a scissor. Had enough of this. Asking for your cooperation. But you don't take... You. And you are talking of your beard. What the hell do we care about your beard? Miss Cosmo, settle down, please. It's worthless. You want to go to prison? Fine. I did my job. I truly did it, and the people in this courtroom are my witnesses. So if you want to end this, just say it, and I'll end my assignment. About time I can finally go to prison. I prefer to go into a cell instead of walking around the city for no reason. This is the first time I see someone happy to go to jail. Yeah, that's a homeless... deadly cycle. Mr. Necken, do you confess your crime? Confess what? Yeah, the crime. Yeah, sure, I killed Ken. You're saying it with such nonchalance. I suppose we've concluded this trial. Well, I mean, what else should I say? That I didn't do it? I did it. To be my first trial in this place, it went well. Yet something of his attitude doesn't add up. Maybe it's just my impression, but this looks too weird for me. If we have no objections, we can finally reach the verdict.
Objection!
Your Honor, I have something to say. Prosecutor Zero, again, what is your objection now? Before we declare a verdict, I'd like to be sure of one thing. Mr. Necken, why did you decide to confess your crime? Well, why you ask? It was I killed Ken. And why did you decide to confess it only now? I don't follow you. Mr. Necken, you accepted a defense attorney because you declared yourself not guilty of the charges. Now you come up saying you're the culprit. Why this change of idea? Will change continuously. First you want to eat lasagna, now you want pizza with pineapple. There's no reason to know why.
Objection!
The prosecution believes this change of idea is important. What reason did you decide to confess now, and not from the start? If your true motive was to get a roof over your head, why didn't you do it didn't you confess from the start? Maybe you just tried to avoid the guilty verdict. At the end he decided to give up because he felt guilty. I have my doubts. Something must have changed his mind if he confessed in this way. Wait, don't you want to take me to prison? Then what are you waiting for? Yes, but also no. What if you're plotting something? You tell the truth, or... You what? Take me to prison? Didn't have to go there anyway? Wanna use this cell? No problem, I got no place to go. Bet my family, maybe? Go ahead. You'll find him in the ground. No way to make you talk, huh? Prosecutor, I consider your noble cause. It's one of these times where we can't do anything. I don't think it's important to continue. I've got a clear idea of what happened. I'd say it's time to pass straight to the verdict.
Objection!
Your Honor, we haven't finished yet. There are still some things unclear to find out. Listen, I'll say this to you. Thank you so much. Now go away.
Objection!
Mr. Neck and I accept your refusal as defense attorney, but not until we've established something. This is why we should keep going with the trial. I told you that we can analyze your jacket, don't you remember? Right, his jacket. I wonder if we'll find something important there. I see. Do I have to do it? At this point, yes! Okay, just ask it. I have to take off my jacket. Let's see. It's stuck in something. It's time to use bad manners. You asked for it. Rip. Ah! Help me, I've gone blind. Look. Hello? This is my final form. You like it? You changed look. Now you look like another person. Wait a second. You have another hood. Judge, I'm serious. It's not necessary to take it off it again. You know my real face. What's happening? I can't see anything with this thing in my head. I'm regretting so much for letting us continue the trial. Prosecutor, now you have his jacket. Please, I beg you to find some clues. Wow, this jacket is so huge. Alright, time to find new evidence. Just found the pockets. Better give a look. They're both closed. That's no good. And they're also empty. Interesting. The pockets are closed, and it means there was no weapon inside.
Objection!
I'm afraid we can't be certain. He wore this jacket until now. He may have opened and closed the pockets whenever he wanted. Which means it's all or nothing. Yeah. Have you finished checking his jacket, Prosecutor? Not yet. Be watching. Look inside. Let's see if we can find something useful. What's this? Looks like an inside pocket. Even this one is closed. You know what they say? Knock and it will be open for you. Yes, except this isn't a door. Come this far, let's see if there's something inside. Nothing. Not even this pocket. So no progress at all. I imagine it's impossible to reach a verdict, am I right? The defendant confessed his crimes, but still. Hold it! There's a hole in this pocket. What? A hole? Your Honor, put your hand inside this pocket. Okay. It seems there is a hole, and it's also big enough. A hole? That's new for me. Your Honor, you see my point, do you not? Mr. Roger had the pistol inside his pocket. And it's practically certain it's dropped from that hole. Isn't that so, Mr. Necken? Yeah, you got me. You're an evil genius. How many would they give you your award? I don't know if he's mocking me. And finally state that this is Mr. Rogers' jacket and Mr. Necken wore it. I accept this piece of evidence to the record. Interesting. In any case, this jacket should have the victims. Should have been the victim's, right? So why does he have it? Mr. Negan, you do know how things have gone during the crime, right? Of course I do. I killed him after all. And I ask you one last testimony about what happened and your motives. Are you ready to confess? Ah, what a stupid question. Of course I am. I have no motive to lie anymore. Ah, this is the end. I wish to thank you all for your cooperation. It's all true, I killed Ken. Did he deserve it? Yes, he did. Search and farm. But in the end, he found me first. I still remember that classic pre-murder conversation. Then I strangled him. I noticed something fell from the jacket. That was a gun. Thought well to use it against Ken, and you know the rest. Very much conclusive, am I right? I see no doubts. We can now end this trial and declare my verdict.
Objection!
The prosecution would like to use the right to cross-examine the defendant. Sir, what the hell are you doing now? You want to prove he's innocent? Hey, don't forget you're a prosecutor. You get it? That's not how you should treat your witness. And your detectives. And your job. I have no intention to crack up all the work we did, Detective. As prosecutor, I also have to establish what happened during the crime. Hey now, you should follow your four-eyes friend. I have to go in jail, no?
Objection!
Then if you confessed, I imagine you have no problem to tell the truth this time, right? At all. How can I tell you the truth if I've already told the truth? This is nonsense. But you'll find a way eventually. The prosecution will have the chance to cross-examine. Mr. Nickett, I order you to be as serious as possible. I'll give my best. Well, here we go. This is a show. We're talking about a serious business. A man died because of you. I think we always need a pinch of joy in our lives. If we're not joyful now, then when? Well, he's not this wrong, though. Sometimes it's stressful attending trials like these. By the way, I want to thank that lawyer man for what she did. Lawyer woman for what she did. She's pretty good. I don't need you anymore. That they'd say in Japan. Sayonara, paisano. Oh, I like this. I like this as a final cross-examination theme. Yes, I remember when you talked about your motive at the beginning of the first session. The victim didn't want to help you. This made you feel physically unwell. You can say that again. He cured me my foot. It was like hell, but worse. So you killed the victim for avenging your help. Listen, I tell this to you. I didn't want to get cured at all. That hospital started the initiative to help others with the streets. like if we need them. Ken came from me and said, hey, no problem, I help you to get better. Guess what? I felt worse. Worse than before? Mr. Nicken, please introduce this new information as part of your testimony. And since I'm here, I'm trying to understand what a testimony is. Why should I do it? How can I explain in short words? Mr. Nicken, repeat what you just said about the hospital. It's easier than I thought. Thank you, Your Honor. That's why you're here. Good job. Could you describe how you felt? I felt better for some days. Then I started feeling so bad that I couldn't see everything in slow motion. I see, so you didn't feel pain immediately. I don't understand why Mr. Staunton wanted you to get unwell. I don't know. Should ask him anyway. Fortunately, he's deceased. Anyway, we don't need to ask someone to bring the victim back to life. Please, have a look at your analysis, Mr. Necken. It's written you have Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome. It's a disease that leads to dementia, memory loss, paralysis of the muscles, etc. That is true, and so, if you look carefully at him, you'd say he matches the description with the description in this document. Indeed, he looks a bit demented. Judge, please. That's not what I mean. No, you. Not to mention he fell asleep after the murder. Of course, so it's clear the defendant is still taking care of this disease.
Objection!
But here's the problem, Your Honor. The fact that the defendant is still taking care of this disease means something isn't right. In fact, I'd ask you to look at this patient information. The first page, to be exact. Let's see. 51 days. Exactly. If you go to the general health status category, it's written that normally a person with this disease starts feeling good after 30 days. So he was in the hospital more than often. If the defendant is still unwell, then this must mean something happened to him. Alright, what are we getting at? I assume you have an idea of what happened, am I right? I still don't have all the answers, Your Honor, but we're building up to something. Hold on. If Staunton failed to treat him from the illness, it's because it didn't work. This means something must have stopped Mr. Necken's treatment. Something? So have you finished thinking? Yes, Your Honor. Maybe I have an idea. Ask the court to look at the defendant's analysis once more, please. This point of the document explains what happened to Mr. Necken. Okay. Let's browse this one more time. Patient information? No. General health? General health morphine? Don't use chemical medication. Wait. There's this fact. And what? How do we miss this? It was on morphine. But the treatment for Wernicke-Korsakoff, as outlined in here, says don't use chemical medication. So that's gotta be what happened. General health. Treatment. At that point. I mean, the part of the document talks about the treatment. Notice the treatment effect. The patient must abstain from alcohol and chemical medication. See, and which of the two, according to you, is the cause of Mr. Necken's indisposition? Alcohol, chemical medicine. Chemical medicine. I'm talking about the chemical medication. It's written by his medic, Mr. Staunton. Administered periodically a dose of morphine for the defendant. And morphine is an analgesic. There is no more chemical drug than this one. What is the contradiction? It is, Your Honor. What I don't get is, Mr. Staunton knew about this, then why didn't he continue to give him morphine? Excellent observation. Must have done it on purpose. On purpose? I don't get it. Maybe Mr. Staunton used it because Mr. Necken needed it. He was a medic, after all.
Objection!
I doubt it. Mr. Necken had to get better, not otherwise. I bet he knew it. Besides, the victim was abusing his health. What? Mr. Necken kept saying Mr. Staunton didn't make him feel healthy. Never thought he meant being aggressive towards the defendant until now. You understand why I killed him now? Not like I kill random people. Prosecutor, could you explain what you and the defense are talking about? Your Honor, the presence of morphine in his body was ambiguous since the very beginning. The victim was his treating medic, so he knew how to treat Mr. Necken's diseases. Even so, he probably put at risk his patient's life. Maybe this means... Huh. Well, this presents some interesting choices. We have a serial killer on our hands. He did experiments, and he wasn't a medic. I think the ultimate conclusion is that he wasn't a medic. I think. Just say he wasn't a medic. Mr. Staunton wasn't a medic.
Objection!
For we know, Mr. Staunton was a known medic. Moreover, he was the treating medic of my client, so I doubt he was secretly someone else. Ah, right. But in any case... And so he probably put at risk his patient's life. Okay, we're gonna run through all of these. Did experiments. Mr. Staunton was conducting an experiment on the defendant. An experiment? I'm sorry, but I don't think he wanted to make experiments. He was a medic and he knew what he was going to do with my client. Using morphine to slowly kill him. The answer is serial killer? My conclusion he was killing is that he was killing my client using morphine and all that. And all the means he has as a medic. Wait a moment, please. You're seriously accusing a dead person of attempted murder. It doesn't matter if he's dead. What matters now is what he did to Mr. Necken. This means he had valid motives to kill him. Killing someone is never the right answer. You should put yourself in the shoes of someone who lost a dear person because of someone else. Or in the shoes of someone who almost died due to the sadistic actions of a medic like my client. Before you take this as gospel truth, I can be sure Mr. Staunton wanted to kill Mr. Necken. Now that I think about it, Mr. Necken said something weird in his testimony. What did he say? Allow me to show it directly. It's a sentence that might confirm what we just heard of Mr. Staunton. I'm going to press the press button when I found the part of the testimony I'm looking for. Oh wow, oh wow, this is interesting. This is really interesting. This is the one we need, right? He found me first.
Take that!
And yeah, we just presented... That's nifty. Mr. Necken, this sentence has a contradiction.
Objection!
What? I see no contradiction here. I don't think... Ah, you faked me out. You faked me out, you crafty bastard. It's... Did the fucking thing where the penalty stays flashing. The first few lines, and then now it just stopped. I don't think so. Mr. Necken had just said Mr. Staunton approached him. That's not what he said before. The victim was searching for the defendant? That's news to me. But how so? We don't have evidence, but it's possible the morphine had something to do with it. He was his treating medic, so he had to take care of the defendant with the right doses. That drug is used only in the hospital, so the patient must be kept under control. Wait, under control? What is it now, Prosecutor? Excuse me, Mr. Necken. Were you really looking for Mr. Staunton on the day of the murder? I wanted to kill him, so... Yeah? But how did you escape from the hospital if Mr. Staunton wanted to keep you there? Prosecutor, I was following you, then you started mumbling. Could you explain a little better? Okay. If all this is true, and the victim wanted to kill him, then the defendant ran away from him. Ran away? Mr. Staunton was his medic. Mr. Necken must have joined the hospital until the day of the murder. This means another thing. Mr. Necken didn't have any intention to meet the victim because he was running away from him. Which means Mr. Necken is the victim of Mr. Staunton himself. There we go. What? Must be it. The victim wanted to take him back to the hospital, and he had a reason to kill him. Wow, you sure are smarter than I thought. Was it over? Let me go to my new cell. It's not over yet, but don't worry, I'll go into prison very soon.
Objection!
I think the opposite, Prosecutor Zero. Thanks to your deduction, we can finally have an idea of what happened during the crime.
Objection!
I'm sorry, but only Mr. Necken could have killed Mr. Staunton. It's a proven fact.
Objection!
The defense cannot defend the defendant under these charges. Eh? Why did you object? If you let me continue. The defense believes Mr. Necken did commit the homicide, just like my client and the prosecution said. Nevertheless, the defense also believes Mr. Necken did it for self-defense. Self-defense? How could you explain this reasoning? The defendant escaped from the hospital to save himself. He didn't have any intention to kill the victim, or at least he wasn't ready to do so. So Mr. Necken lied to us. But you're talking of your client. Do you know that? Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Necken lied. For a reason. I told you to stop helping me. Just let me go.
Objection!
Mr. Necken, if you want to go to prison, then it's okay for me. But you must let me show off what I have to say. Well, in that case, okay. Ahem. As you can see, my client wants to go to prison. He wants to go there because he doesn't want to go to the hospital. So he obtains a life sentence instead of going to the hospital. Obtains a life sentence instead of going to the hospital. Didn't you ask yourself why Mr. Necken changed his attitude after Mr. Rogers' testimony? Yes, indeed. Something probably made him change his thoughts. Yes, something changed to him. Maybe he simply remembered what he did. What are you saying? Let's watch Necken's analysis, please. We know he has the Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome. In theory, he should have felt well, but this never happened because of the periodic dose of morphine. In short, Mr. Necken still has the syndrome. I see, so he still has the same effects of that disease. Indeed. And as you can read, among the effects, there's also a loss of memory on recent events. Do you see my point now? Ah! The defendant didn't completely remember what happened. That's why he called me as an attorney. After Mr. Rogers' testimony, he started to remember. He remembered he was running away from the victim, that he didn't want to go to the hospital. So he explained why he wants to go to prison so much, because of the victim. Impressive. Logic isn't wrong at all.
Objection!
Let's not change the subject. Maybe he didn't remember, but he still killed a person. He's not innocent at all. I know it well, Prosecutor. But in regards of what we know, I'd like to make a plea bargain. Do you want to negotiate the defendant's verdict? Why should I accept if I know he killed him? He's guilty. Prosecutor, do you think my client has the characteristics to be a cold-blooded killer? Killed a person? To me, it seems a common characteristic in a killer. But do you agree with me that he's not that kind of person with the instinct to kill? He's a really common person. Tries to live his own life despite life issues. If he had the chance, he wouldn't have killed him. Maybe. But this won't make me change ideas and start a plea bargain with you. Plus, he really is convinced to go to prison. Prosecutor Zero, stop being deaf. I don't care if he goes to prison. I just want you to recognize my client killed him in self-defense. Sure, the victim had bad intentions towards Mr. Necken. Mr. Staunton was looking for him. This means he also attacked my client first. What do you think? Could be the defendant was just defending the victim. From the victim. Defense just showed that possibility. Doesn't change the fact that he killed him, but we're talking about self-defense. You know he killed the victim because he didn't feel good. He would have died in the hospital. I believe this is possible, since the analysis shows he was getting worse. So, Prosecutor, do you think the defendant could have killed Mr. Staunton for defending himself? I don't fully embrace this idea. Probably there's more of the victim we still don't know. I can't deny there is a possibility that this happened. That's why I'd ask to suspend this trial to investigate about Mr. Staunton's true intentions. Darn it, do you know how to prosecute? Did they ever teach you to never join forces with the defense? Hi, Pascal. You're here to help us, not make a mess of us. If you fail now, don't say sorry if you get what you earned.
Objection!
This is all going to come back to you, Pascal, isn't it? Are you threatening me? Threatening? Not at all. But I want you to remember why you're here. Do you know that saying? Each action, right or wrong, leads to consequences, right? And if you let the defense win, then I'm obliged to intervene. Your Honor, pay attention. You what? Hmm? Hmm?